In this last week of the liturgical year, we are given passages regarding the end times, and here we have the immediate end of what they know to be familiar to them, this glorious temple, which took about 47 years to build, and he is warning them that not one stone will be standing on the other. It will happen not many years afterwards, in 70 AD. In our time, he might say something like this: the empire that you are building for yourself on a screen will crash. Now, look at the average human being in our Western society. The more followers and virtual friends he has, the more self-satisfied he is. I am the greatest, said Cassius Clay way before that time. But we think that when we have a huge bubble around us, we are worth more than the person next to us. Take away the virtual and we come down ourselves with a crash. Those who on this very day will go into unprepared death in an accident with a huge clientele on the internet also will crash in 1 second into what they are, alone, with no following. All that they carry is their weight of merit or demerit before the eternal King. That is reality. Nowadays, it's cool, as we say, to poke fun at believers, the church, and all that stuff. We've grown up. We are past all that. Some years ago, somebody with that mindset was on an aeroplane, and a good lady was on the same aeroplane right next to him, saying her rosary. And this gentleman couldn't resist the temptation to start denigrating her with some cool words. And he went as far as to say, "Look, madame, look through that window of the aeroplane. Do you see any God out there in the skies?" Now, as it happened, one of them had a camera. And the lady said, "Poke that out and take a picture." What was the surprise when this was the result? Can you see it? Do you see there?
Oh yeah, we see that.
Can you see it? Who is it?
Jesus.
That's no trick photography. It's the cloud formation that happened to form before it. And she didn't know that either. It was the camera who saw what it saw. So if that's not a sign from heaven, tell me what is. In situations of close proximity with death, which some of us have to handle. I just anointed today 2 people in hospital and another one yesterday, and only one of those was lucid. It's something that one cannot escape. Those moments, proximity to death, are actually the reality. In those situations, when there's lucidity, they're still able to collaborate with all the places in the air. When they're not, one leaves it in the mercy of God, hoping for the best. But we now are fully lucid. Lucid means able to think for ourselves clearly. We have in our hands time. It's rather like a pilot. If you go to an aeroplane, you're entirely in the hands of someone else for that flight, especially at certain moments like landing. You are confident that he knows what he's doing. You can't do a thing about it. You just know that he is trained. It's rather like that with a parent, a priest, a doctor. They are depending on us to get them home to their destination. The doctor can't afford to make mistakes, although they say that every doctor has his little cemetery on the conscience, mistakes he may have made over the years that no one else knows about. A parent also, when the children are young, has to do what that parent can to plant the seed, and then it's over to you. The priest certainly can't afford to make a mistake, e.g. by not warning them in the pulpit that life is serious because eternity is serious. He has to say things as they are now and again, otherwise he's not doing his job. But he also has to be with them, especially at certain times. Do you remember a couple of years ago there was a terrible disaster in the air? It was some person who was a fully qualified pilot. It was German Wings, I think, was the company, and we don't know why, he decided to commit suicide while actually guiding all the others. And he managed to lock himself in the cabin of the pilot, and he went through with it. And the whole crew and all the passengers had to not commit suicide, but endure his suicide with him. So they went down, and no one could stop him. It's rather like that. We are pilots, and we have to make sure that not one is lost. In this month of November, we also remember 2 wars. Why? As you may know, I don't know if it happens in the north of Ireland, it probably does because of the influence of England, but they have 2 minutes of solid silence all through England on the 11th of November, because that's when the armistice happened in the First World War. The 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And they still, all over the land, pause and think about those hundreds, actually thousands and thousands and thousands of young men who went into the beyond in a very short time. Well, what is forgotten is actually those many, often priests, who went down with them. They would jump over the trenches, they would anoint, they would confess, they would do anything to save the souls of those young soldiers. And they would even actually absolve the other side if they found, e.g., a German soldier dying. And they would be sacrificed in the process. The unsung heroes of the war. But do you see what they were? They were pilots. They would not let a single soul go. So if that's the situation for one soul to be saved, how much care must we take of our own? So before you make a mess of your one go through life, get the message loud and clear. There's only one flight, and I can't afford to land